to 3 Live. My name is Jordan. Thank you for joining us for the Google Pixel 6 launch event. If you don't know, Google has a new phone coming in a few minutes, effectively. So Google has their launch event kicking off at 6 p.m. We'll be showing you the whole event right here for the entirety of this of the whole event. I'm very excited. I'm a massive Pixel fan myself, and I cannot wait to see everything that Google has to offer. So as mentioned, we do know some cool stuff. We know what the phones look like. We know it's got a new processor. We've seen them tweet about stuff like all new cameras. We don't know the details. We know the overarching, like, very cool, over-the-top stuff, but we don't really know things like the display, quality, sizes. We don't know about the camera. Again, quality, sizes. Are they going to be even better for nighttime photography? Are they going to be even better for crisp and clear shots? I mean, you can assume yes normally because that's the way smartphones tend to work. They improve every year, but even the cool new design as well. That design has quite the camera bump on the back, but actually I really like it because the camera bump on the back here is working in a way that other camera bumps don't. So, for example, the Pixel 5 didn't really have a camera bump so much, but if it was on a table, you would normally get like the subtlest wobble, like very subtle. But Google presumably is putting a much bigger sensor into this new device, so I would assume we're going to get some big improvements when it comes to camera to take a notch which is that tiny and make it something that is quite a bit bulkier, quite a bit more protruding. But what I quite like is the visor they've done across the back. So this traditional smartphone design in the corner creates a wobble because it, puts everything kind of off kilter a little bit. With the Pixel 6, what we're going to get there is just one big visor along the back, and what that means is we're going to have no wobble. It's going to actually be pointed a little bit towards your face as well, and I'm very excited. And as well, there is a ton of cool new Google stuff happening that we might not even know about. Like, we know there's going to be a new phone from Google today, but there could be other stuff. There could be, new headphones. We know about the Pixel Buds A, some of my favourite headphones that I've ever used. They are phenomenal. I've actually got my own pair as well in my pocket. Yes, I do. Pixel Buds A, are we going to get successors to those? Maybe not. They are relatively new, but it's always up there. Could we get some cool new Google Home stuff, like the new Google Nest speakers or microphones or anything? It's something that we don't quite know as of yet, so it's something that we can definitely keep our eyes peeled for, and I am most excited for. So if you guys are as well, feel free to stick around, and we'll be chatting about it in just under, 4 minutes or so, which I am loving. So if you are a massive Google fan, as I said, stick around, and we'll be chatting all about it. But there's some polls live down below, and one of the things I want to know is what is your current favourite Pixel feature, because Google has a bunch of cool Pixel features, and if you guys are watching on YouTube, feel free to head to the link down below, 3.co.uk/3-live. And you can get involved with these polls as well. For me, all of the options that's there. So we've got night sight and astrophotography mode. We have now playing, which is all about music identification. So the cool thing about that is whenever you are using your phone, so we'll bring you back down and show you my Pixel 4. You've got your always on display there. The cool thing is if there's music playing, and I would play some, but we don't have any copyright rights to do this, what this would do is this would show you at the bottom here the song that's currently playing. So you wouldn't have to search for that song, which you can do through Google as well. You wouldn't have to do anything really. It would just show up. It would just show you that's a song that's currently playing, and it even showed you a really nice history as well. So the things I love about that is you would be able to basically take your device and then create a playlist of a really great night that you had, or if that song plays but you didn't quite get the app open to search for the song in time, then it didn't really matter because you had the ability to go back and check it because your Google has picked it up with the feature now playing as well. And I love it. I think it's one of the coolest things that Google's ever made in a smartphone. And that's saying a lot because there is a bunch of great new stuff. Like one of my favourite features is not only this always on display, but what it's showing you right now. So in 3 minutes, we've got the Pixel 6 launch, and that's going to unlock my face here. And that's obviously pretty cool. This is a feature called Now Playing, where it will grab contextual information from your calendars, emails. So if you've got a flight coming up, it will show you stuff like that. And then last but not least, in terms of the Pixel features, is something called Pixel Feature Drops as well. Now, if you don't know what Pixel Feature Drops is, it's basically Google's new way of giving you some cool new features. So if you are the type of person that really loves to get a new smartphone experience, so you love using your phone and you love using it in some cool new ways, Pixel Feature Drops are for you, because what that's going to let you do is give you cool new things. So it's some updates to things that already exist, but it's also some cool updates to things that don't currently exist in your smartphone. So there was new software features that can get added in. There's also things like new camera updates that will come as well. And Pixel Feature Drops are scheduled. It's not like when a manufacturer promises you something will be fixed in an update. It's not like that at all. Google does it a little bit differently. So every 3 months, so every quarter throughout the year, a Pixel Feature Drop will arrive. And what that lets you do is it lets you, that's what I'm looking for here. It lets you know that the phone experience you have today, although it will be great, it will get even better, in a year, 2 years, whatever it is. Like however long you use that device for, it will actually improve. So by the time you come to upgrade, the smartphone that you picked up and you're using right now will actually get better over time. Not something that you ever really tend to see from any from any smartphone, which is pretty amazing. But Google can do this because Google has done lots of great stuff. So they've done some really phenomenal stuff, like the camera with one single lens. Oh, apologies, that's my Pixel 5 going off its head. So with the Google Pixel 5, what it lets you do is it lets you get some really nice updates for things like the camera, because that camera mode that you've got there, that offers the same features as what you would get on things like the Pixel 2 as well. So going all the way back, that's the kind of stuff that Google does offer from their devices. But the Google event is kicking off, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut over there, and we'll see you guys after.
This one's coming to an end. There's a new voice calling. You can hear
Excuse me, sorry.
and it's growing stronger with each day that passes by. There's a brand new morning rising clear and sweet and free.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Good girl.
Hey Google, help me speak Japanese.
この犬の名前は何ていうの
What's the name of this dog?
Tank. Okay. Tiggy, stay. Look at me.
Good girl.
Hey. What's up?
Kind of forgot my keys today.
Look at New York today. Oh my God.
Yes, a new world's coming, the one we've had visions of, coming in peace, coming in joy, coming in love.
Hi everybody. I'm so glad you decided to join us today.
I'm here in our beautiful Google store in the heart of New York City, where we're going to show you a few new things we've been working on, some of them for quite a long time. Today, you're going to see real breakthroughs across many different technologies and teams at Google, all coming together to create a more helpful, personal smartphone experience for each person. We're doing what Google does, developing advanced technologies and taking on massive scale tech challenges, which in the end are all about helping you out and making your day easier. For so many Google products, from search to Gmail to Google Photos, AI is the foundational technology that lets us deliver helpful experiences to each of our billions of users. AI is driving our vision for ambient computing as well. The idea that helpful technology should always be available, whenever and wherever you need it. From a Google hardware perspective, everything we're doing is in pursuit of that vision, and the smartphone has a huge role to play. The phone is the most personal technology in people's lives. So it's only natural that your phone should be the central control device of an ambient system. Your phone needs to understand you and your world, your context, your unique needs and preferences, how you speak, and what you care about. That's what we set out to create with Pixel, the most personal, most helpful phone. A true Google phone, which takes all the helpfulness and intelligence of Google and adapts it to you. Now, this approach has led to a lot of groundbreaking smartphone innovation over the years, from the Pixel camera to the Google Assistant to the speech and translation models we've pioneered. And we've always done a great job of tuning our software to get the best real-world performance out of Pixel's hardware. Now, this year is quite a bit different. We have state-of-the-art hardware, which means Pixel can deliver even more impressive real-world performance, as well as new AI-driven experiences that have never been possible. This vision comes to life right here in the new Pixel 6, our most helpful, most personal, most Google phone ever. Pixel 6 is designed inside and out to understand the nuance of you. You can see right away a major evolution in the phone's design language with a distinct new color palette. The new Pixel camera bar houses a completely redesigned camera system with upgraded sensors, lenses, and computational photography that enables entirely new features and modes. You can see the always-on display and the expressive, adaptive new Android 12 UI, which we call Material U. Pixel 6 is designed with powerful new security and privacy features to safeguard your information. And we've made big improvements to boost every aspect of performance, from the all-day adaptive battery with fast charging speeds to 5G connectivity for even faster downloading and streaming. The product is full of more features that we're going to show you today. Pixel 6 is available today, starting at $599. And now we're going to talk about a first for us. Our first flagship phone for people who want our most advanced technology. The new Pixel 6 Pro has everything Pixel 6 has, including our Tensor chip and a lot more too. It has a Pro triple rear camera system packed into the camera bar with a new telephoto lens. And on the front, you have an ultra-wide front camera that shoots 4K video. It's got a bigger and better 6.7-inch dynamic display that goes up to 120 Hertz for smooth scrolling and fluid animation, while going down to 10 Hertz to save power. Pro includes 12 gigabytes of RAM for speedy performance and seamless app switching and multitasking. It's our fastest and smartest Pixel yet. Pro has the biggest battery we've ever put in a Pixel, and it has a fresh, high-end design with sophisticated colors and refined finishes. Pixel 6 Pro is available today, starting at $899. It sets a new bar for performance and helpfulness you can expect from a Pixel phone. Today, you're getting the first full tour of Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro, starting at the outside and working our way in. Here's Isabel from our design studio.
We completely reimagined Pixel as a personal, fluid phone experience that is expressed throughout the device, from the form factor to the materials to the UI. And the first design element I'll show you is probably the first one you noticed, the camera bar. The Pixel camera has been celebrated since the beginning, and we've been subtly evolving our camera design over the years. But Pixel 6 is not the phone for subtle evolutions. The new Tensor chip is unlocking lots of new camera capabilities, so we upgraded the camera system to take advantage of this. Both phones use bigger, better rear camera sensors and a laser autofocus sensor, which helps make your low-light photos sharper. And Pixel 6 Pro has a telephoto camera with folded optics for impressive photos in as small of a form factor as possible. It's a powerful collection of hardware that helps you take a beautiful photo under any condition. This is the kind of step change innovation that deserves a total rethink, to think outside the box, so to speak. So the industrial design team designed the phone itself to celebrate the camera. The camera bar brings a clean, symmetrical design that puts the camera front and center. It is a major design evolution that encapsulates real technical innovation. You've probably also noticed that Pixel 6 has a distinctively different look and feel from previous models. We designed the phone to be graphic, vibrant, and unique. Pixel 6 has a textured black metal band, combined with expressive but versatile colors that look like nothing else in the smartphone world. We're introducing a tinted gray and a vibrant yellow combination for sophisticated but fun vibes. The next colorway is our take on our iconic Google Coral, pastel pink paired with juicy red that feels inviting and energetic, accented with a punch from the textured black metal band. And our dark color option is simple but not plain. We're using dark gray tones for an understated and minimalistic look. And for the Pixel 6 Pro, we were inspired by high-quality finishes used in jewelry and watches. It's our most refined phone, made with polished unibody metal transitioning fluidly into the gorgeous 3D glass. The phone feels refined and unique in hand with unexpected color combinations. Our white Pixel 6 Pro with the clean silhouette and timeless style is accentuated by the warm white and tinted gray colors and the high polished silver frame. We're also pairing a light gold with warm colors for a luxurious and uplifting feel. And of course, we have a tailored and modern black Pixel 6 Pro, which combines dark neutral colors with a high polished black metal for an elegant and understated look. A beautiful phone demands a big, beautiful display. So we took extra care with the Pixel 6 displays. Pixel 6 uses a 6.4-inch 90 Hz display, and Pixel 6 Pro has a big and beautiful 6.7-inch high-resolution waterfall display that really melts into the frame of the device. Scrolling is super smooth with a dynamic refresh rate that gives you peak performance when you need it and lower power consumption when you don't. Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro are as durable as they are beautiful. Both phones are water and dust resistant with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus displays. It is the toughest Gorilla Glass with twice the scratch resistance of previous Pixels, so the phone can withstand the inevitable flashes and scratches. Underneath the display, the new Pixel have a fast and secure fingerprint sensor for easy unlocking. We're also continuing our investment in making our products more sustainable. For example, Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro are designed with recycled aluminum to reduce their carbon footprint. But perhaps the most important sustainability move we can make is improving the phone that you already have, so that you can go longer between upgrades. That's the idea behind feature drops. Even older Pixels are constantly getting new features, so that keep on getting better over time. And when it's time to upgrade, just send us your old Pixel and we'll make sure it's responsibly recycled. And to protect your phone until then, our series of Pixel 6 cases are made of recycled materials and they're a perfect match for accentuating Pixel's design and colors. The frosted translucent cases fit seamlessly around the camera bar, letting the colors show through. So your Pixel is protected by its case without the design and the colors of the phone disappearing. The accessories, the colors, the display, the materials, everything about Pixel 6 has been reimagined. But reimagining the form factor wasn't our ultimate goal. We wanted to create a complete phone experience built around you. Our design team developed the striking Pixel 6 exterior in parallel with the software development on the Android team, so that the colors, the forms, and what's on the screen all work together in a single, beautiful, and fluid experience. And here's Sabrina to share what we've been working on together.
Thanks, Isabel. With Android 12, we set out to build an OS that's the foundation for the future of hardware and software together, for an experience that's uniquely made for you. Android 12 looks especially stunning on Pixel 6. We designed it using our years of mobile OS experience, while keeping our own hardware in mind. So Pixel 6 is the best expression of Android. One of the best examples of hardware and software working together is in the color and customization logic of our new Material U design. Material U is a first-of-its-kind UI breakthrough, and we think you're gonna love it. For starters, your entire phone UI updates to reflect whatever image you choose as your wallpaper. The system does the rest, determining which colors are dominant, which are complementary, and which just plain look good. It then applies different shades to different parts of the interface. You can see this gorgeous wallpaper that I've picked and how it influences the surfaces on my phone as a sunny gold color scheme. It even matches the hardware. As often as I want, I can give my phone a fresh feel just by updating my wallpaper. I really like this blue I'm wearing today, so I can quickly update my Pixel to match it. You can see how the different UI elements immediately adapt, including the system UI, apps, icons, and search bar. And we've reimagined every aspect of the UI, so you'll instantly notice how responsive and smooth everything feels. It's more fluid and adapted to your needs. The redesigned quick settings provide easy access to more useful controls. And take a look at the updated widgets. Google Photos, Maps, Gmail, Weather, your YouTube Music UI, all get redesigned with Material U, with the goal of making the UI more intuitive and beautiful, so my phone adapts to me rather than the other way around. Material U also brings a fresh look and new features to at a glance, the new home and lock screen experience. It contextually surfaces information you need right when you need it, like having access to your flight details in your boarding pass right on the lock screen, or showing you a time to leave reminder that makes sure you get out the door on time. It's great for when I work out. When I'm getting ready to start my run, I pop in my Pixel Buds and I'm able to jump right into my YouTube music playlist with a single tap. Then when I'm running, At a Glance tracks my run and shows my live workout stats. As Isabel said, everything is new about the Pixel 6 design, from the powerful camera bar to the elegant materials and finishes, to the vibrant new colors, to the personalized look and feel of Material You. It's a completely reimagined Pixel. Of course, we can't create a personal phone experience without a real focus on security and privacy. Pixel 6 has to get this right because your life is on your phone, your photos, your financial information, personal data, and everything else. Pixel's led the way in smartphone security for years, tested against real-world threats, and Pixel 6 is the most secure Pixel yet. It includes Tensor Security Core, a new CPU-based subsystem. That means it's a real core on the Tensor chip that's separate from the application processor, so sensitive tasks and controls run in an isolated environment. We're also introducing the next generation of our industry-leading dedicated security chip, Titan M2, which works with Tensor Security Core to protect your sensitive user data, PINs, and passwords. We made Titan M2 even more resilient to advanced attacks, like electromagnetic analysis, voltage glitching, and even laser fault injection. And it's been proven through independent security lab testing. Titan M2, Tensor Security Core, and our new open source trusted execution environment give Pixel the most layers of hardware security in any phone. And thanks to Tensor, we're now able to extend our support window for the first time. So every Pixel 6 user gets at least 5 years of security updates. That ensures you have the latest, most up-to-date protection. We've also pulled a lot of helpful privacy and security features forward in the UI, so you have full control over your settings and preferences. Here are a few safety features that are coming first to Pixel. This is the new Security Hub. It's got simple steps you can take to better protect your data. This green check mark means I'm all clear and don't need to take any actions right now. You'll now see indicators right on the screen when an app is accessing your mic and camera feed. And there are toggles so you can quickly turn the camera and mic on and off across every app and use case. The new privacy dashboard helps you make informed decisions about which apps get your permissions to access personal information. There are also strong protections working behind the scenes. Many of the ML models for personalized experiences are running in a secure, on-device sandbox called Private Compute Core. So sensitive information never leaves your device without your explicit action. Captions and translations, suspicious messaging alerts, Gboard data are all handled securely and privately. We're stepping up anti-phishing protections too, detecting potential risks in phone calls, text messages, emails, and links, letting you know if something looks suspicious. Google keeps more people safe online than anyone else in the world, and our commitment to safety and security guides our hardware development as well. When you add up all these new security and privacy enhancements across the OS, the UI, and the hardware itself, Pixel 6 demonstrates Google's continued commitment to security innovation. We're going to keep moving to the brain of Pixel 6. It's a mobile AI computer called Google Tensor, and we're excited to tell you more. Here's Rick.
Google Tensor is the biggest mobile hardware innovation in the history of the company. It's the culmination of years of investment in AI and Google's deep experience in silicon. The name is a nod to tensors, a building block of machine learning computation. The Tensor name also connects it to Google technologies like TensorFlow, our open source AI and ML software library, and our tensor processing units, which Google developed to power machine learning in our data centers. The Tensor chip is specifically designed to offer Google's latest advances in AI directly on a mobile device. This is an area where we've been held back for years, But now we're able to open a new chapter in AI-driven smartphone innovation. Tensor also gives us a hardware foundation that we'll be building on for years to come, so you get the personal, helpful experiences you'd expect from a Google phone. Monica's here to explain what's so different about Tensor.
Every couple of years, Google comes out with something that completely changes how people use technology in their lives. We started in search and kept going with Google Translate, Google Photos, Assistant, and these innovations are built around our machine learning research. It's in Google's DNA and drives everything we do. While Google is known for groundbreaking work in ML, there's one place we haven't always been able to bring it, and that's the smartphone. Mobile chips simply haven't been able to keep pace with Google research. And rather than wait for them to catch up, we decided to make one ourselves. We needed a chip that was engineered to fulfill our vision of what should be possible on Pixel. So, a few years ago, Google's team of researchers came together to collaborate across hardware, software, and ML. The result of that work is Google Tensor. We approached Tensor differently. Every aspect of Tensor was designed and optimized to run Google's ML models. This permeates our entire chip. We're fortunate to have great insights when it comes to ML, and built our chip based on where ML models are heading, not where they are today. Starting with the integrated ML engine, the TPU, it was custom made by Google Research for Google Research. For the image signal processor, or ISP, we brought key algorithms directly into the silicon for power efficiency. Even our choices for CPU and GPU were designed to complement our ML to deliver advanced computational photography. The CPU cluster is a 2+2+4 configuration. It includes 2 big ARM X1 cores. The 20-core GPU also delivers a premium gaming experience for the most popular Android games. There's a context hub that brings machine learning to the ultra-low power domain. It enables ambient experiences like now playing and always on display to run all the time without draining your battery. Tensor was designed for total performance and efficiency when it comes to running Google experiences. It has to be really good at heterogeneous computing. Here's what that means. As software applications on mobile phones become more complex, they run on multiple parts of the chip. This is heterogeneous computing. To get good performance for these complex applications, we made system-level decisions for the SoC. We ensured different subsystems inside Tensor work really well together, rather than optimizing individual elements for peak speeds. Peak CPU and GPU speeds look great in benchmarks, but they don't always reflect real-world user experience. Pixel 5 is a good example of our approach. Google software delivered a great experience, even on a chip that didn't win on benchmarks. Don't get me wrong, Tensor's CPU and GPU are much faster compared to any past Pixel. But what matters more are the brand new experiences enabled by Google Tensor that weren't possible until now. So let's get to those. Here's Brian to talk about how all this comes together in Pixel 6.
Thanks, Monica. Let's start with the camera. Ever since our first Pixel 5 years ago, the Pixel camera has set the bar and reshaped the industry. Our leadership in computational photography and machine learning have led to some remarkable camera capabilities over the years, and have let Pixel users take some extraordinary pictures, even when we've used ordinary camera components. With Pixel 6, we're applying all that software expertise to a fully upgraded camera system for the most advanced smartphone camera in the world. It's leagues ahead of our previous Pixel cameras, from the hardware to the software to the computational photography. For starters, let's take a look at the main camera. Both Pixel 6 and 6 Pro have a massive new 1/1.3-inch 50 megapixel sensor. We combine adjacent pixels on the sensor to get extra large 2.4 micron pixels. With night sight, the Pixel camera has always been able to do a lot with very little light. But now the primary sensor captures up to 2.5 times as much light thanks to those huge pixels. This means you're going to get photos with even greater detail and richer color. Both phones also have completely new ultra-wide cameras with larger sensors than before, so photos look great when you want to fit more in your shot. Pixel 6 Pro has a larger ultra-wide front camera that records 4K video. It also has a telephoto lens with 4x optical zoom for getting in close. That's not easy to fit in a phone without making it super thick. To get that much magnification, the Pixel camera uses what's called folded optics. A flawless prism bends the light 90 degrees so that the camera can fit in the body of the phone. And you can get up to 20x zoom with an improved version of Pixel's Super Res Zoom, our advanced computational approach to combining optical and digital zoom. Finally, the sensor behind the telephoto lens is even larger than the primary rear sensor in past Pixel phones, so you can capture great low-light zoom shots with night sight. When this amazing hardware is paired with Tensor, we can build new camera features that were impossible before. Video is a great example. Video is a hard use case for computational photography because you're basically taking lots of photos very quickly. Applying a machine learning algorithm to a single photo is very different than running the same algorithm for each frame 60 times per second. We've always dreamed of getting Pixel's video quality up to the signature photo quality, but it wasn't possible. The processor just wouldn't be able to keep up. So we spent years on this problem and have made a lot of progress. We started by developing more efficient methods for applying tone mapping edits very quickly and doing everything we could to get the most out of the sensor. We also developed an algorithm called HDRNet, which could deliver the signature Pixel look much more efficiently. With Tensor, we're able to embed parts of HDRNet directly into the ISP and accelerate it to make the process faster and more efficient. With this system, Pixel 6 can now run HDRNet on 4K video at 60 frames per second. That's 498 million pixels each second. And this is what Pixel 6 video looks like. You can see what a huge improvement this is. The color accuracy is excellent, with a big boost to the vividness, the stabilization, and overall video quality. This is all thanks to the bigger camera sensors, Google's cutting-edge machine learning, and the efficiency gains from the new Tensor chip. It's a giant step forward. Have you ever had a perfect photo ruined by something random in the background? Let's say you want to be the only one on the beach in your photos. If you don't have access to a deserted island, or don't want to spend hours in a photo editing suite, Pixel's new Magic Eraser can do the job. In Google Photos, you'll see suggestions for distractions you might want to remove from your photo. Erase them all at once, or tap to remove them one by one. What really sets this feature apart is how we're able to figure out what you're trying to remove, and how well we can fill what's in its place. Even if something is not suggested, you can still erase that distraction. Just circle them and they disappear. And you can use Magic Eraser on Pixel to clean up all your photos, whether you took them a minute ago or years ago. Here's Hollywood production designer Hannah Beekler to show you what's possible with Magic Eraser.
Hey, Hannah Beekler, production designer and world builder, working on Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. I oftentimes consider myself a story designer, and I'm designing towards moods and tones.
I love this building.
I have to go back to my dad. We would drive around and we would just make up fantasy places. I can just remember seeing everything that he would say.
Yeah, if I crop that.
When I go on a location, I'm photographing hundreds of places. And for me, I have to envision what that certain place is gonna look like for our story.
Oh my gosh.
This was the key gem in Creed. And they had this big workout station that we had to take out. And this is what I could have showed him all along.
If I just had that gone. Oh, Magic Eraser. Yes.
Oh, wow.
That is not the right period car, so let's get rid of that. So I can present this as a 1950s space. Game changer.
Ooh, so integral and so important to have a blank canvas, to have the creative conversations. And I think anyone should be able to do that. And I think they should be able to do it on the spot. Because once you start using that muscle of seeing past something, you're gonna do it a lot. And then you're gonna see the world and the creative. And I think that it's a great tool. I know I'm gonna use it.
Here's a problem everyone has seen before. You go to take a picture, but the lighting isn't great and the subject is moving around. You can't quite get the perfect photo. It's a little blurry. Here's the same scene with and without our new face unblur feature. Normally, this great moment would be a blurry throwaway photo. There's too much motion and not enough light. It's a physics problem that Tensor's on-device machine learning can solve. Let's talk about what's happening here. Before you even take a picture, the Pixel camera is using Face SSD to figure out if there are faces in the scene. If they're blurry, it spins up a second camera so it's primed and ready to go when you tap the shutter button. In that moment, Pixel 6 takes 2 images simultaneously, one from the ultra-wide camera and one from the main. The main image uses a normal exposure to reduce noise, and the ultra-wide uses a faster exposure that minimizes blur. Machine learning fuses the sharper face from the ultra-wide with the low noise shot from the main camera to get the best of both into the image. As a last step, Pixel camera takes one final look to see if there's any remaining blur in the fused image, estimates the level and direction of the blur, and then removes it for you. In all, it takes 4 machine learning models combining data from 2 cameras to deliver the scene you know you saw, but couldn't get from your camera until now, with face unblur. So most of the time, we want to eliminate blurriness from our pictures, but sometimes a bit of blur can actually add to the picture, especially for action shots that don't seem to have much action. Pixel 6 introduces motion mode, which brings a professional look to your nature scenes, urban photos, or even a night out. Typically, you'd create these effects with panning and long exposures, techniques that require fancy equipment and lots of practice. Motion mode makes it easy. For action shots like this one, the Pixel camera takes several photos and combines them, using on-device machine learning and computational photography to identify the subject of the photo, figure out what's moving, and add aesthetic blur to the background. For a nature shot like this, the camera applies computational photography and ML to align multiple frames, determine motion vectors, and interpolate intermediate frames that are blurred so you get this silky smooth waterfall. That sounds hard, but watch how easy this is. Nothing captures the energy of New York like a fast-moving subway train. With motion mode, just wait on the subway platform for the right moment, snap a photo of your friend, and you have a vibrant, artistic photo to remember this moment. Now we know that not every picture is taken in the Pixel Camera app. Some of these new camera capabilities and image quality improvements extend to any app that uses the camera, including your favorite camera apps. Here's Snap founder and CEO, Evan Spiegel, to tell you more.
Hey, I'm Evan. The camera was once a tool for documenting important life moments. Today, people use the Snapchat camera for so much more, as a platform for self-expression, creativity, and visual communication with friends. For Snapchatters, speed really matters. Billions of snaps are created every day, and our community wants to be ready to snap everyday moments as they happen. That's why we are always working on new ways to help Snapchatters get to our camera as quickly and easily as possible. We're excited to announce today that we are partnering with Google on a Pixel 6 feature called Quick Tap to Snap. This Pixel-first feature puts the Snap camera directly into the lock screen for fast and easy access to the Snapchat camera. Just tap the back of your phone twice and you're into the camera. This new feature is a speedy and simple gesture that will help our community snap more moments before they disappear. We've designed QuickTap to launch into camera-only mode so Snapchatters can create snaps even if they haven't yet unlocked their device. Once you make a great snap that you want to share, simply authenticate on your device to unlock the full app experience. With QuickTap to Snap, Pixel 6 will be the fastest phone to make a snap. And we're also working with Google on exclusive augmented reality lenses and bringing other key Pixel features like live translation directly into the chat feature on Snapchat. Snapchatters can talk to their friends in more than 10 languages, and conversations will be translated in real time. These are the first features coming to Snapchat on Pixel 6, and we can't wait to bring more innovation to our community with our partners at Google.
Hey y'all, I'm Florian, and I lead Google's Image Equity Initiative, our cross-product mission to improve camera and image tools for people of color. Going back decades, cameras have centered light skin, a bias that's crept into many of our modern digital imaging products and algorithms, especially because they're not being tested with diverse enough groups of people. Photos are symbols of what and who matter to us collectively, so it's critical that they work equitably for everyone, especially communities of color like mine, who haven't always been seen fairly by these tools. This year, One of the advances in Pixel 6 and Google Photos that we're most excited about is real tone. We knew that building for the community meant we had to acknowledge our own gaps and learn from the folks who know this issue best. So we started by working with image experts like photographers, cinematographers, and colorists who are celebrated for their beautiful and accurate imagery of communities of color. We asked them to test our cameras in a wide range of tough lighting conditions. And in the process, they took thousands of portraits that made our image data sets 25 times more diverse to look more like the world around us. They worked directly with our engineers, telling them what was already working well and where we needed to do better to make sure our images highlighted the nuances of all skin tones equally. And they kept it real.
When they had a really white background on the back or a light or anything, like they just looked very washed out.
And it's a beautiful pink sunset. There's no reason why she should be looking this green.
For this, I would love it if the camera, if this picture was darker.
The second image, absolutely not. No, it was just, the color was, everything was just ashy.
If there isn't adequate light, the skin can sometimes skew a little gray or desaturated. When you take a picture of someone and they look gray, like that's not, that's not good.
It negated the blue. It washed out the blue that would have had the brown hue show up more in his skin.
I think that the instinct is suddenly, if somebody is not used to shooting darker skin tones, the instinct is to just be to shoot them much brighter. And it's just no, there really is we should appreciate and really sort of work toward all the different hues and all the different tonalities.
How do we make sure that when someone grabs that phone and it takes a photo of them, they see themselves?
It should be that everybody just kind of looks like they look.
All of that wisdom helped us make a more equitable camera. First, to make a great portrait, your phone has to see a face in the picture. And our experts helped us improve our face detection models so the camera sees you as you are. From there, we improved our auto white balance tuning to better reflect the beauty of your skin tone. And we improved our auto exposure tuning to make sure your skin looks like you, not unnaturally darker or brighter. They also inspired our teams to make advances like algorithmically reducing stray light that can make darker skin tones look ashy or washed out, and making night sight portraits less blurry for folks like me. All of these changes are part of Real Tone, improvements that led these experts to vote Pixel 6 as the most inclusive camera available. In a blind test across top smartphone cameras, they rated Pixel 6's camera as best in rendering skin tone, brightness, richness, and detail for people of color. Google Photos will also have Real Tone baked into its auto-enhance editing feature, so you always feel seen, from the instant you take a photo to the moment you edit and share it. But this mission goes beyond Google Apps. Real Tone will improve the camera performance for photos and videos in third-party apps like Snapchat, because feeling seen shouldn't be limited to just one tool or company. This fall, we partnered with the New York Times to see how some of the most compelling contemporary image makers put Real Tone to work in their own art. Let's take a look.
For decades, there have been generalizations made about people of color in imagery and just how they've been shown and show up in their portrayals. It whitewashes our history in some ways. Image technology was calibrated for white skin, and that meant that the variety and spectrum of colors had to therefore conform to that calibration. Picture Progress is a campaign created by T-Brand, our content studio at New York Times Advertising, in partnership with Google. The campaign for us is an opportunity to literally lay the groundwork of opening the dialogue around what does it look like to have a more equitable and visually representative future. We put the Pixel 6 camera in the hands of BIPOC creators. We felt as though getting their unique perspective on image equity was very important. Kennedy Carter joined us on this effort. We were so excited to work with her. What we love about Kennedy is that her work expresses and really captures and elicits really unique questions around what does pride and power and compassion and poise mean in the Black community.
It's important to think of images as facts, whether it's an image of your family and your grandma cooking dinner, or it's something like a protest. This will be a point of reference for a very long time. I found that a lot of my sitters looked good no matter where they were. And that was just straight out the camera. And people were on set looking at the image output, and they were like, wow, this looks really great. If you're an artist, you should go into every community with the intention of trying to elevate a voice and make people feel heard and make people feel good and make people feel proud.
This will be a game changer for sure. There's something very empowering about being able to see yourself as you see yourself, to see the nuances that make us all unique. Being able to know that you take a photo with a group of friends and everyone is represented equally. All of their beautiful hues are showing up in the same photo. It's our truth in our hands.
I'll hand it back to Brian now to take you through some remarkable speech innovations in Pixel 6.
Tensor is unlocking so many helpful camera features in Pixel 6. From improved video quality, to face unblur, to motion mode. We think it all adds up to Pixel 6 being the most advanced intelligent smartphone camera. Next up, let's talk about how Tensor is making typing much faster on Pixel. Obviously, speaking is the fastest and most natural way to go, but today's voice input systems just haven't been up to the task. First, understanding the nuance of human speech is really a hard problem, with challenges that are unique to each person. It means understanding syntax, intent, and the context of your request, knowing the terms and names that are important to you, but potentially uncommon to others, understanding your accent and dialect, isolating your voice when there's background noise, and even hearing you correctly if your mouth is full. Google has led the industry for years with our natural language processing. It's why search queries are so accurate and Google Translate is so good. Thanks to some outstanding work from our speech team, Pixel 6 has an on-device speech recognition model that can transcribe speech with incredible accuracy. And thanks to Tensor, it does it using half as much power as previously possible. It's the most advanced speech recognition model ever released by Google. With this new capability, we rethought the voice typing experience based on some key insights about how people write. Let me show you how it works. Hey Ronnie, are you still up for dinner tomorrow? With our friends? You can see how accurate the transcription of my friend's name is. Pixel is smart enough to take the hint from my contacts list, and the mic stays open while I tap to insert a clarification about who's coming. Pixel even automatically adds the right punctuation, so I don't need to specify where to put commas and question marks. Let's keep going. I hope you can come. Catherine is hosting this week. Of course, Pixel won't always know which Catherine I'm talking about, and the one I have in mind spells her name with a K. The language model also helps with transcription suggestions, so corrections make sense based on what you're saying. Historically, transcription suggestions have been the same ones designed for typing based on keystroke proximity. But that doesn't make any sense if you aren't typing with keystrokes. Now Pixel's model is phonetically based, meaning it suggests corrections that sound similar. So Catherine with a C becomes Catherine with a K, instead of catharsis or cathedral or whatever else you might have ended up with. And to make voice typing as fast as possible, I should be able to do more with my voice, including commands like clear or send. Pixel is smart enough to understand that I don't want those words in my message. I'm sure it's going to be great. Clear. I'm looking forward to it. Catherine has a really nice new place. Send. See how fast that was? Also notice that your phone remembered it's Catherine with a K, so you won't have to make the same edit twice. The model adapts to your usage. And watch this. The model also unlocks the accuracy of emoji transcriptions, which is so much faster than searching through little pages of icons. I think we're making homemade pasta emoji and ice cream emoji. Send. With the new speech model, typing with your voice is faster and easier than just typing with your fingers. Thanks to Tensor and these new breakthroughs, we can do all this on device without connecting to a server, so it's super fast and reliable. We really think it's going to change how you use your phone. Google's natural language understanding allows us to rethink phone calls, too. Call screen is great for shielding you from spammers. Unknown callers have to say why they're calling before you decide to pick up or hang up. It's a useful feature, and the Tensor speech models are making call screen even more accurate in Pixel 6. The next problem we wanted to solve is calling a business. It's been the same bad experience for decades, with hold music, the same long automated system saying, your call is very important. It's the worst. But Pixel 6 makes it so much better for you. Now, before you even place your call, Pixel shows you the current and projected wait times, so you can call when it works for you. And when you do call and encounter that endless list of options, like press 1 for branch hours and locations, you actually don't need to listen carefully and remember all the automated menu options. Google Assistant listens for the details and shows them on screen for you to tap. Of course, if you still find yourself in the hold queue, don't worry. Google Assistant will hang out on the line and listen to the hold music for you. It understands the difference between a recorded message and an actual representative on the line, and lets you know when a real live human is ready to talk. Tensor also dramatically improves translation features in Pixel, so you can interact naturally with people who don't speak the same language that you do. Pixel can help with smart, simple translation that's there wherever you need it. Just like with voice typing, speed and accuracy are best in class. Until now, these kinds of breakthroughs haven't been able to run on a phone. They require intensive computation on highly specialized hardware. This is exactly what Tensor is good at. It improves Pixel's translation quality by 18%, a level of improvement that typically takes multiple years of research from our world-class research team. And the improved model uses less than half the power when running on Tensor. We all have friends or family members whose native language isn't the same as ours, and I've always wished I could speak with them in the language they're most comfortable in. With Pixel 6, I can finally do that. My sister-in-law is Japanese, and here's a message from her. It says, "I have a question about the latest Pixel." Now I can reply in English, and it will show up in Japanese for her. Sure, now I can finally tell you about it. It all happens right on the device in the Messages app, so I don't have to deal with cutting and pasting text into Google Translate. In-app translation is also available in WhatsApp, Google Chat, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Line, and a growing list of other chat apps. Now, if we combine our real-time translation models with our speech recognition models, we can translate audio from any source in real time right on the device itself. It opens up a world of content for people. Watch YouTube videos in your own language. Stream a sports broadcast from another country. Watch Instagram live videos from around the world, all translated and captioned in real time for you, right on your Pixel 6. Translation is even integrated into the Pixel camera, so you can read signs, product labels, documents, and even menus in your own language. Across all the speech and translation features in Pixel 6, you can see a few of the ways Tensor unlocks new capabilities. Google's ML research enables things like helpful voice typing, calling assistance, and translation on Pixel. And we've got one last translation feature to show you today. The improved interpreter mode in Pixel 6 is more fluent, faster than ever, and available in 48 languages. Here's my colleague Shanaz with Marie Kondo to try it out.
Marie Kondo is famous for changing people's lives through her KonMari method of organization. She has a television show, has written books, and is a huge star in the United States. Thank you very much for being our first live Translate interviewee.
私たちの最初のライブ翻訳インタビューであることに感謝します。
I love seeing what sparks joy in other people's lives. What sparks joy for Marie?
私にとっては一人でも多くの方が片付けを終わらせてときめく人生を送っていただくこと、これが喜びです。
For me, it is a pleasure for as many people as possible to finish cleaning up and lead a thrilling life.
完全な感想ですが、あまりにも完璧に翻訳されているので驚いています。
I'm surprised that it's translated so perfectly.
What is it like working in a place where people don't speak the language?
確かに英語を話すということは私にとっては難しいことの一つですが、でもただ違う価値観や違う言葉をや文化を持つ人たちと交流できることはとても楽しいことです。
Speaking English is certainly one of the difficult things for me, but it's just fun to be able to join people with different values, different languages and cultures.
It was so nice to talk and connect with you in this way. Thank you.
正直なところ、こんなに私の言葉をしっかり翻訳して伝えてくださっていることに本当に驚いています。
To be honest, I'm really surprised that my words have been translated and conveyed so well.
To be honest, very nice.
It's good?
Yes,
I'm so surprised. We are so happy to hear your excitement because we worked very hard on this.
少なくなっていってるんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。
I think that the language barrier is getting smaller now.
Let's go back to Rick for a few final Pixel 6 details.
So that's Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro. They're available for pre-order today, starting at $599 and $899 for the Pro. Head over to our online Google store to pre-order. They'll be on store shelves starting on October 28th. You'll also see our lineup of Pixel accessories, including the beautiful new cases and the hands-free Pixel Buds A-Series. Between the incredible new Pixel 6 design, the phenomenal camera and speech capabilities, helpful new features, and all the Android 12 goodness, there's a lot to be excited about this year. Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro completely reimagine Google's approach to smartphones and represent the very best of Google's helpfulness. They're phones that adapt to you, and I can't wait for you to check them out for yourself. Thanks so much for watching today. We'll see you again very soon.
Wow. I can't believe you're here. This is the first photo of your life, son. Your first smile, your first bath, the room we made for you. And you'll meet Nana and Grandpa, and you'll see the world in your own way. I'll teach you how to dress. I know you're gonna make mistakes in that department. Your first kiss? I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't wait for the world to see you like I do.
Well, that was exciting. So that was the Google Pixel 6 event. It was amazing. And what do you know? I've got one right here. So we're going to be unboxing this in just a few minutes. And we also had a really great opportunity to see the device a little bit earlier as well. But we'll be showing you that in just a second. But I just want to kind of touch upon, quickly recap everything we just saw there. So we saw some pretty amazing stuff. We saw the cool new phone, the new designs, everything that made the phone, like, honestly, really fantastic. But we do also have some questions that popped up. So let me just go ahead and see what questions we've got relating to the Pixel devices, because we've got a bunch. If you guys are looking for some more one-to-one help, click on the link down below, which says free customer support. And what that will do is take you through so you can grab your own. But we've got questions like, when can I grab the device? When will pre-orders be live? All that fun stuff. So stick around. They aren't live yet, but they will be live in the next 5-10 or so minutes. So definitely stick around. We'll be linking it as soon as the pre-order opens. It should be just after 7 p.m. So you don't have long to wait in terms of picking up your new phone. Now, in terms of the devices we are stocking, we have the device. We've got it in the Stormy Black, which we've got right here. We also offer it in the other colours, which the names are now escaping me. We've got it in the Seafoam, I believe it's called, the more bluey teal one, and we've also got it in the coral colour, which I forget the name of again as well. But we've got it in those 3 different colours for the Pixel 6. For the Pixel 6 Pro, it's not something that we're stocking at the moment, but keep your eyes peeled if you are interested, and we'll show you some really cool new stuff very, very soon as well. But I just want to quickly recap some of the amazing stuff we saw there. So we know we're getting a new Pixel 6. We know it's got new cameras, like a 50 megapixel main camera, which is looking pretty fantastic, and I'm a lover of that 50 megapixel main camera. Now, there's a ton of stuff that I think is great about the new Pixel 6. The cameras especially. Like, one of the things that totally blew my mind was a 2.5 times better low light capture than the Google Pixel 5. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about the Google Pixel 5 and how great that was for things like night sight. This device just takes it to the completely next level as well, which is bonkers. So I cannot wait to physically get this out the box and try it out. So stick around, we'll show you that in a second. And also things like the new Google Tensor chip. So we knew that was coming. We knew Google had their own processor. We didn't quite anticipate how powerful it would be. So I was taking some notes, so let me just check my notes. So it's 80% faster than the Google Pixel 5. So it's a massive markup when it comes to speed. But you kind of expect a speed increase. 80%, maybe not as much as that. Like, normally the numbers that get thrown about are like, you know, it's 15, 20% faster than the previous model. 80% is a leap, which is pretty fantastic. And as well, it wasn't just about how much faster this new processor is. It was also about the cool new features that it brings as well. So that's cool new features like, for me, the voice typing. So TensorFlow voice type, I forget the Tensor voice typing, actually, took a note of it. That's effectively where your phone is understanding you immediately. So if you've ever tried typing to voice, it is a bit of a different experience depending on the phone you go for. Google tends to be really good at it anyway, but it was always a case where you spoke and a few seconds later your words appeared. But the cool thing about this was you could speak to your device, it would almost instantly recognize it, and you didn't have to stop it to make any edits. You could, if you wanted to add some words in the middle, just click in the middle of the word, or the middle of the sentence rather, and what it would do is start typing from that point. If you wanted to add an emoji to voice typing, then all you had to do was like, say, pasta emoji, ice cream emoji, it adds those in. And then if you want to send it, you literally say, would you like to go out for dinner tonight? Send. That sounds like a date proposition, but it is really cool stuff like that, and a really nice, simplistic way of actually using your phone with your voice. And the best part is, that all works offline. That isn't Google having to recognize you're speaking to the phone and then send it away and then wait for it to come back. That happens on the Google Tensor chip, which is mind-blowing. Like, that's some really cool stuff. And we saw as well the amazing Marie Kondo, who was basically translating into English instantaneously. And if you've ever even watched like that show that we're talking about on Netflix with Marie Kondo, you'll know that she often has to have a translator go with her to people's houses and, you know, to just converse in English, because her English is very, very limited when she speaks it. But now, as she said in that video, it's literally making the language barrier smaller, because all you have to do is hold your phone, speak into it, and like, I've seen this work in real life as well. The second you finish speaking, what it will do is it will actually then translate that immediately into that different language as well, which is very, very nice. And honestly, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it's one of those things that I'm going to use all the time when I go on holiday, because it is just like otherworldly. It's fantastic. But what we're going to do is we are going to show you, because we had a little early look at the device, so you can check it out now. Hi, I'm Jordan from 3, and today we are in our 3 studio having a look at the brand new Google Pixel 6. This is Google's brand new premium smartphone for 2021. This is the first time that Google is bringing both the hardware fully together with the software to create a really seamless smartphone experience. But let's just let's get it out the box and see exactly what we've got. So here we have the new colour, which is called Stormy Black. All the devices have a similar design layout where you've got this big kind of chunk of colour at the bottom, you've got this new visor, and then you've got this kind of third colour up the top, just bringing a little bit of splash of character. If we go ahead and take it out, this is the first time I've ever held it, which I'm quite excited for. It actually feels really nice in the hand as well, which is pretty cool. So we've got this nice brushed aluminium around the side, but We also have Gorilla Glass Victus on both the front display and also the back glass as well, keeping your phone nice and scratch free. So just while we're on the back, let's talk about these cameras, because we've got two cameras on the back and they are new for this device. So the first up, the one you'll be using all the time, is the 50 megapixel main camera. So that's improved from last year's 12.2 megapixel camera on the Pixel 5, which is important for three different reasons. First up, we can capture much more colour, much more detail, but most importantly 150% more light versus the Pixel 5. We've also got a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, which lets you capture those really impressive wide shots at 110 degrees field of view. So the Google Pixel 6 has a ton of cool new camera functions. We've got things like action pan, we've got things like long exposure, which are new and very exciting, and that's thanks to the new Pixel Tensor Flow chip. So the new Google Tensor Flow chip is very exciting. It's the first time Google have ever put their own in-house designed processor in a phone, and it means a ton of cool new things. One of the coolest things is this phone is 80% faster than Google's previous flagship Pixel, but also that Google can support this device for a lot longer. So they've already stated you'll get 5 years of security updates for this device, and being that it is such a great device, you could use your phone for much longer than your regular upgrade window. So just moving from the back of the phone to the front, we've got a 6.4-inch display. It's one of the biggest pixel screens we've ever had in a device, and it still feels really great one-handed. It's also full HD, but very coolly, it's 90 Hz as well. So whether you're doing things like, playing games or watching video, but also when you're scrolling social media, it'll feel a lot slicker. You want to make sure you've got great battery life, power and all that there, and we do. So we have a massive 4,614 milliamp hour battery. You can top that up really fast with the 33 watt fast charging that's now supported here, or if you want to wirelessly top it up, it will support 21 watt wireless charging as well. So that is the Google Pixel 6. It's got a bunch of phenomenal new features. We've got that big, beautiful 6.4-inch display. We've also got this really nice design on the back, which is pretty phenomenal looking. We've got those two really important cameras, and then we've got that Tensor Flow chip powering the whole device as well, which is very exciting. So it's really phenomenal. If you want to get your own, you can head to 3.co.uk/Google, so make sure you guys are heading over to pick that one up. So thank you guys for watching our unboxing of the Google Pixel 6. My name's Jordan, and we'll see you soon. So that was a pretty amazing early look at the new device. Very exciting, obviously, as you can tell. So we've seen it, we know loads of good stuff, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you the actual unbox experience, as in everything you're going to get in the box, because it is quite the device and quite the experience. So if I bring you to my top down here, we've got the Pixel 6, and we have a pretty amazing device here. So we've got it in the beautiful stormy black, but one of the things that I love here is, and I mentioned it in the video, we've got this like three-tone design effectively. It's not as dramatic on the stormy black, but it is very cool on the other models as well, where you're getting this like, stormy black main color at the bottom here. You're getting this nice like dead black visor for the camera. And as mentioned, like, we do have a considerable camera bump for all those new camera specs, but no wobble, which is very exciting. And then just above that, you get this lighter, like greyish color as well to give you that nice like accent on the device. So it looks pretty beautiful. We're going to turn it on in just a second and rip all this nice white peel off. But just to show you what else you're going to get in the box, so you're going to get your cable, nice C2C cable to get it charged up. You're going to get your little USB-C to USB-A dongle. That'll be for doing things like switching from your old phone to your new phone. A very handy little thing to have. And then you've just got things like your quick start guides and warranty info and your little SIM pin on the back there as well. So we'll stick that all back in the box, nice and pretty. And we'll stick the box to one side, but pretty similar to what Google's done in the past there as well. But what we want to do is bring in the beauty that is the Google Pixel 6. So if we go ahead and just give you this very satisfying peel. This is the Google Pixel 6. So the one we have is in a demo mode, so you will see some cool stuff playing through it. And this is the cool thing that you'll see in the stores as well. And I think it's a great way to actually see what the features are of the device. So just to run you through some of these cool features on this device, because there is quite a few. This model in particular, the Pixel 6, the standard model, not the Pro, has a 6.4-inch display, which is very, very nice. It's got that 90 Hz refresh rate as well, giving you that fluid and fast experience that we've seen on things like the Pixel 5. So keeping that high quality display is something that Google's very committed to, which I am loving. The new design is obviously something that looks pretty fantastic as well, but it goes beyond just the outer shell of the phone. It goes a little bit more into the inner shell of the phone as well. But we also have those cameras that we mentioned. So we've got that cool new 50 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide as well. So to talk about that 50 megapixel main camera, one of the coolest things is that Google, since the Pixel 2, has had the same 12.2 megapixel camera in the device. Now, that's pretty amazing because it's something that Google has expanded upon and built upon and made really cool and really exciting. But now, in this, we have a massive jump in terms of megapixels, and that means Google can do a lot. That means they can get 2.5 times more light capture in a single shot. So that'll work in a bunch of different ways. It'll make colours better, it'll make night sight even better, and it will also help you capture skin tones more accurately as well, which I think is one of the nicest things that is evident here. But if you are a user of like an iPhone or something like that, you may know that apps like Snapchat, Instagram tend to work really well with the iPhone's camera, but on Android, they aren't always as well optimized for those particular devices. But the cool thing here is that Google at system level has a bunch of stuff built in so that the quality of photo you take in Google's camera app, which is fantastic, that same quality of photo will be shared on things like Instagram and Snapchat and anywhere you want to post it. So that high quality continues through from the current device to the actual post itself on like your Instagram story or something. So it's a very, very nice way to get those photos shared out, and actually I might make that my wallpaper. That's a very nice looking 3-shot there. But the camera is important in a bunch of different ways. It's got cool new modes as well. So actually, I'll just bring you back to my top down. So we've obviously got a portrait mode and night sights, which are great. Night sight also has a night sight video feature, which is pretty nice. We're obviously not in the correct environment to show you it right now because it's very bright. But you can do some cool new video modes as well. So there is things like the motion blur, which means that when you're taking photos, if your subject is moving, you can track your subject, and what it will do is it will allow you to follow your subject and keep it perfectly in focus while the world around it has this blur effect going on. And then if you are taking a photo of something that's moving, think like a train whizzing past you, it will give you that nice like blur on the train as well. So it's not like a set photo of a train. You can literally see the motion occur before your eyes as well. So stuff like that is really cool and a new way to bring those fun new shots to life. Like one of the coolest ways Google showed it off was with a waterfall or just moving water overall. It will look pretty fantastic. So I love that. That's very exciting. And then as well, the Pixel Tensor Flow, we kind of touched upon, 80% faster, and it provides a bunch of cool new features like that night sight video that was mentioned, and like that instant translate, that instant voice typing as well. Like it is so fast, and literally instant is the word for it because everything about it is instantaneous, and it's amazing. But as well, battery is one of those things that's got a bit of an improvement. So battery on the Google Pixel 6 is very cool. It's one of those things that if you are looking for some good battery devices, the Google Pixel 6 is the one that will have you covered because it offers lots in terms of the performance, it offers lots in terms of the power of it as well, and here we've got a bigger battery than we've had on any Pixel device previously. So to give you the exact number, because I've got it here, it is 4,614 milliamp hours. Now Google say that will give you about a 24-hour battery life, so you can go a full day without having to charge it in your general use case. And it's actually really interesting the way Google does this. So you have that really fast, like processor, but also you've got the adaptive charging. So both of those things will work together to effectively figure out what the best way to use your battery is. When do you use it most? When do you use it least? You know, if you're charging it, when do we need to get to that 100% to prolong battery life? Like, it is doing a lot, but the adaptive battery overall will have a look at your usage and then optimize it so you're getting the best possible usage at that time. So if you are not going to be using it too much for a while, it will keep it topped up. So 24 hours, Google are always a little bit vague about this, but from the Pixel 5, that had phenomenal battery life, and I would expect even better from the Pixel 6 because we've got a bigger battery. Even though we do have some like more powerful specs, I reckon it's going to be a really powerful, fantastic experience, and I actually can't wait to test it out in the real world and see just how good it is as well, because like, if the previous devices were this fast, then I think it's something that we can be very, very excited about. You also get newer, faster charging. So previously you were kind of capped at that 15-watt charger. Now you can go all the way up to 33 watts wired charging. And on the Pixel 6 in particular, with the new Pixel stand, that'll be 21-watt wireless charging, which is pretty cool. So now you can charge your phone wirelessly faster than you could charge it previously as well. So things like topping up will be instantaneous as well. And just on the new kind of experience, I'll just turn my brightness up a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. So one of the coolest new things is something called Material U. So Material U is this. It's all about changing your background. Google will adjust itself to make the background and things that are in the foreground, that's things like your app icons, your search bars, your widgets, all work to accent it and contrast quite nicely as well. So if it goes a little bit lighter, it will give you a bit of a darker widget and icons, and then if you go a little bit darker, it will adapt it a little bit as well. So as you can see, it's not just inverting it, it's not just doing stuff like that, it's also matching the colours to stuff that's quite similar and then making it look pretty good. I don't know if this camera's quite doing it the justice it deserves here, because some of those accented colours are quite pastel. Like, for example, our little icons here with this nice like pastel pink, because it matches what's going on in the background there as well. But it looks fantastic. As well, Magic Eraser is one of those things that's really cool, and I have tried this out and it does work really well, where if you have someone like photobombing your subject here in the background, they're not really getting in the way, but you don't want them there. You can literally go into the camera app and remove them, and Google will use the brand new processor to figure out the best way to do that and just make them go away. So I quite like it. It's quite handy if you've got like, if you're the type of person that takes like a bedroom mirror pic and you've got like socks lying on the floor, you can move the socks. Like, maybe that's not what everyone will do, but that's immediately for me. No more socks on the floor. You've also got this motion mode as well, which we kind of talked about. It shows you the literal motion. So this phone is fast enough, obviously, to capture photos instantaneously, but motion mode just adds this little bit of a nicer effect to it. So, you know, regular photos, not that exciting if it's of a kind of motorway or anything, but motion mode gives you this nice dramatic light trail, which just, you know, makes the car almost vanish, and it just is what was left of it, that light trail, which is cool. And in the camera, we've talked about, is a little bit better as well, in all those cool new ways. So big thing for me, 150% more light and 50 megapixels, up from 12.2 in previous devices. But Google Tensor, and this is probably a really great way to show off, is great in a million different ways. So it's better performance, but it's also one of the most secure devices you can get. So Titan M, if you're a Pixel fan, you'll know all about the Titan M. It's Google's processor in these devices that's basically all about security, making your phone the most secure it can be. We've got Titan M2 here, so it's a new update to that processor, that particular chip, I should say, that was in previous devices. That's now built in to TensorFlow, giving you some of the best experiences, and it's also smarter as well. So it uses machine learning to adapt to you effectively. Everything that it does will be making your life easier. Google is all about being super helpful and the most helpful device you can effectively get your hands on as well. So live translate, now I wish I could show this off, but I don't speak any other language, so I can't really show this off. But the cool thing here is you can speak to your phone and it will instantly translate it. But if someone sends you a text, so these texts were originally in Spanish, for example, it will translate it to English automatically. So that'll work across a bunch of favourite chat apps. So it's not just Google's own Google Messages app, which you use for texting and using some cool Google Chat functions. It'll work in a bunch of different ways. And then as well, battery we mentioned, which is bigger, longer lasting, all that fun stuff. We've talked a little bit about security as well. I'm not going to harp on this too much, but Titan M, much better and much nicer way to use your device. And then obviously that's just a wee scan your QR code, and then we've got more specs in here as well. So to give you a quick run through as well of things that I didn't quite pick up there, you've got an 8 megapixel selfie camera. So that's a little bit wider than other selfie cameras as well. What that's going to let you do is capture more in the shot. So if you are all about getting, like, you know, group selfies and stuff like that, then the cool thing about this is just take a nice photo there. You have to pose. You can't keep speaking, otherwise it gets you mid-speech and you don't always look as nice. But if we capture a nice ultra-wide selfie there, we've got a little bit of depth in the shot, so that means that we can add in more people around us as well, which is pretty cool. So we're not limited to a very, you know, core one or two of us. But yeah, I think we've kind of covered most things that I want to do over here, but I do want to reiterate that all your favourite Google stuff is still here. Things like Now Playing is still here. Things like Google Lens is still here. Things like the At a Glance widget is still here as well, so that means that you can use it in some cool new ways, and there's even new widgets for this device as well. So there's a bunch of cool new things that you can do, because Google is going pretty big with widgets in Android 12, which this phone hasn't launched with, but gets some early features and will be getting really soon. And just to give you an idea as well as to how these wallpapers work, what we're going to do is we are going to really quickly just pick a random new wallpaper. So I want to go for this nice, like, pinkish looking one. So we're going to go ahead and save that for our home screen and lock screen. And then what this will let us do is, if we head into wallpaper and style, is we can basically pick a palette. So this will be for things like, you know, these colours here have already changed to match the palette, but we can also use themed icons, and themed icons are pretty cool, because if we head back to the main screen, you'll see that it's kind of greyed out our icons a little bit. Now, it doesn't do this in the app drawer. It is only for ones that you add to the home screen. So if we then decide to add in, like, Google Maps, for example, you'll see that instead of being the nice Google coloured option, it's now matching the background as well. And Material U is really cool because it is effectively changing the device. Even icons up here as well have changed. It is changing the device to make it your own, beyond things like changing your wallpaper and changing your case. This will change the whole experience, which I love, because sometimes I feel like if you're going for a certain theme, you have to completely redo your whole device, whereas this lets you keep that same great Google core experience, but adapt on it and add to it and just really make it your own, which I am loving. There is a link down below if you want to go ahead and pre-order. Pre-orders are now live. The phone's available in Stormy Black, Sorta Seafoam, and Kinda Coral. They've always got these, like, hilarious names. You can check out the plans we've got on just now. There is a pre-order promotion. You've probably already seen it. It's the Bose 700 headphones. They are noise-cancelling headphones, and they are very, very cool. Personally, I'm going to be pre-ordering a Pixel 6, so I will be getting those headphones, and I'm quite excited to use them with my new Google phone. But there is tons and tons and tons of really great stuff about this new phone. But the proof is going to be in the pudding. We're going to be having this device on 3 Live. We're going to be trying it out and seeing, you know, how this is day to day, because the specs, the features, everything seems like it's an absolute winner of a handset. But it's one of those ones where you have to have it in your hand and try it out and, you know, see for yourself. It's an experience device. It's not a spec sheet device where you look at it and you go, wow, that looks amazing, and, you know, you're won over. Then you get the phone and you're not quite as enamored with it. This is one that is a grower. Like, you'll get the phone, be really happy, and as it becomes more useful to you, it will be even better. So this device is truly uniquely yours. But that's kind of my quick overview of the new device. But as mentioned, if you want to see more, check back on 3 Live. We'll be going over it over the next few days and weeks and months. So it's one that I cannot wait to get more in depth with. But thank you guys for watching, and we shall be seeing you soon. Bye.
The Google Pixel 3 This phone's camera is honestly otherworldly.
They have a really cool group selfie mode.
This phone you can zoom out.
Introducing the first ever all Google phone with Google Tensor, the first Google chip in a smartphone. Smart enough to make photo bombers vanish. And Live Translate speaks your language and hers, no internet required. It adapts to match your style with custom palettes, widgets, and more from Material You. With the most layers of hardware security in a smartphone, only on the all-new Google phone. Google Pixel 6, for all that you are.
Hi, I'm Jordan from 3, and today we are in our 3 serial having a look at the brand new Google Pixel 6. This is Google's brand new premium smartphone for 2021. This is the first time that Google is bringing both the hardware fully together with the software to create a really seamless smartphone experience. But let's get it out the box and see exactly what we've got. So here we have the new colour, which is called Stormy Black. All the devices have a similar design layout where you've got this big kind of chunk of colour at the bottom, you've got this new visor, and then you've got this kind of third colour up the top, just bringing a little bit of splash of character. If we go ahead and take it out, this is the first time I've ever held it, which I'm quite excited for. It actually feels really nice in the hand as well, which is pretty cool. So we've got this nice brushed aluminium around the side, but we also have Gorilla Glass Victus on both the front display and also the back glass as well, keeping your phone nice and scratch-free. So just while we're on the back, let's talk about these cameras, because we've got 2 cameras on the back and they are new for this device. So the first up, the one you'll be using all the time, is the 50 megapixel main camera. So that's improved from last year's 12.2 megapixel camera on the Pixel 5, which is important for 3 different reasons. First up, we can capture much more colour, much more detail, but most importantly, 150% more light versus the Pixel 5. We've also got a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, which lets you capture those really impressive wide shots at 110 degrees field of view. So the Google Pixel 6 has a ton of cool new camera functions. We've got things like action pan, we've got things like long exposure, which are new and very exciting, and that's thanks to the new Pixel Tensor Flow chip. So the new Google Tensor Flow chip is very exciting. It's the first time Google have ever put their own in-house designed processor in a phone, and it means a ton of cool new things. One of the coolest things is this phone is 80% faster than Google's previous flagship Pixel, but also that Google can support this device for a lot longer. So they've already stated you'll get 5 years of security updates for this device, and being that it is such a great device, you could use your phone for much longer than your regular upgrade window. So just moving from the back of the phone to the front, we've got a 6.4-inch display. It's one of the biggest pixel screens we've ever had in a device. It still feels really great one-handed. It's also full HD, but very coolly, it's 90 Hz as well. So whether you're doing things like, playing games or watching video, but also when you're scrolling social media, it'll feel a lot slicker. You want to make sure you've got great battery life, power and all that there, and we do. So we have a massive 4,614 milliamp hour battery. You can top that up really fast with the 33 watt fast charging that's now supported here, or if you want to wirelessly top it up, it will support 21 watt wireless charging as well. So that is the Google Pixel 6. It's got a bunch of phenomenal new features. We've got that big, beautiful 6.4-inch display. We've also got this really nice design on the back, which is pretty phenomenal looking. We've got those 2 really important cameras, and then we've got that Tensor Flow chip powering the whole device as well, which is very exciting. So it's really phenomenal. If you want to get your own, you can head to 3.co.uk/Google, so make sure you guys are heading over to pick that one up. So thank you guys for watching our unboxing of the Google Pixel 6. My name's Jordan, and we'll see you soon.